So I got these two packages. So this is from Tobias Stoger. Let's see what we got. This is awfully big. Hopefully it survived. It's a little ripped up. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, probably needs thicker bubble wrap, but it seems to have survived. I think it was set priority, so I know what this is. This is, oh, this is so cool. Look at this. This is crazy. This is, oh wow, the silicone picks up the lines. Sorry, I'm getting totally geeking out on this right now before I even get to this. This is a hand-poured piece of silicone that picked up every single detail of the 3D print that it was poured into. It is really neat. It picked up everything. It could probably, you can see the layer height. This was printed at really high quality. Wow. This is really cool. This would be really good casting resin if you wanted to pick up the line geometry of your 3D print. I don't know why you would, but let me see if you can capture that. All right. I don't know if you can see that. That's the top. But you can totally see the 3D print texture on that. So this pink stuff is must be a high detail. This is really cool. This is really cool. To combine. It's interesting that it didn't fit. I wonder if I'll have to ask him if he molded this into it or if he did some kind of mold release so it can come out. But either way, it didn't stick to it at all. Very interesting. Looks like it will pick up gunk, so you can probably wash it with water. So this is a SMD component assembly storage tray. It's basically a turntable, Lazy Susan, with a removable compartment tray, a silicone pad on top that you can place a circuit board on while you're working on it. You might want to glue that down so it doesn't. It kind of released from the. I would thought it would have binded permanently, but it kind of released from it, and you can see the lines on it. But you put your board there; it doesn't really move around and holds it really good, but it doesn't stick. And that comes. That comes apart. It's got a bearing in there. Oops. And that just sits in there like that. And then your tray goes on there. Your tray can be swapped out, different colors or whatever, and you have a lid. Nice strong lid. Fits real tight. Doesn't flop around. Your components probably won't ever fall out. Even if you dropped it, I imagine. Because, I mean, it's got 4 corners. It's not going to bounce the lid off. Well, it might. I've seen things fall down and just get destroyed. They hit just right the way. They're just the right way. But well, that's interesting. Those lines. Huh. Oh, that's tape. I bet that's tape. No, that's on the top, not on the bottom. Unless it transfers the thickness through. That's interesting. And that's the lid, and then that's your compartments. So let's see what it's all about. I think Sion originally designed this just as a regular tray on a bearing with a workspace in the middle. And I don't know if this is an original idea or if he modified his. Oh, that's nice. That's schmick. I could do this all day. You can make a bunch of these. So, all right, so there's a pin in the middle. This is, wow, that's a big print. I guess you'd have to, I wonder what the infill on that is. You'd have to figure out how to get rid of that. That's a lot of material. This is a really nice print. I'm gonna guess this came off a Prusa. That's what I need to get, or an Ender. Ender? Maybe an Ender. Wow, this is, I wonder if this is even printed in fine. Most of the times if I print something this big, I won't print it fine. I'll print it in fast or draft at whatever layer height. This looks really fine though. I guess I can measure that. That's really nice. It's a really well calibrated printer too. Wow. I don't know if this is PLA or ABS. Yeah, I don't know. So there's that piece, this little piece, this base. I guess it's a snap fit. Well, not really a snap fit, but probably put some Kapton around there and it'll probably fit really good. It's a little, it's like rounded here. I guess so. Interesting. I wonder why it's rounded on the inside like that instead of a tighter fit. Maybe just to make it put together easier. I mean, that registration's perfect. Maybe just so it doesn't grind on the bottom. It's the best way to give you some clearance to make sure there's no, yeah. But it kind of looks like a spindle all the way through. Imagine if you had like a rod, a center column, and these all slid onto it, and you had a stack of these. And you'd have to make a slot, I guess. Yeah, I guess you'd have to make a slot in them so that they could all be rotated to the slot, and then you can rotate one of them to the component you need, and then you'd have multiple levels of components, resistors. Maybe you just have to spin them all to, maybe you could have something that grabs them all and rotates it to this empty section. That would be really cool. Like some kind of like a pin that sticks out, and then something rotates on the bottom and grabs the first one, and the first one grabs the next one, and they all grab each other, and they all spin and register the empty slot, and then you can pull one over to whatever tray you want, and you can get to it. You'd have to go in from the front though. But you'd have this huge rotating tower of all these components in what is this? 4 inches? 4 square inches? 16. Anyway. Alright, so we got this piece, a bearing. There's something in there. And this is a snap fit cover. This is awesome. Wow, this is awesome. So I was asking him about his something, and that I saw in one of his posts, and he sent me one. It's a dual pole it's a single pole dual throw reed switch. I've never seen one of these before, but it basically lets you have normally open, normally close with a magnetic field. Very cool. Thanks, I appreciate that. And sent me a ball tilt switch. Oh, too bad I didn't get this a couple days ago. I just did a video on vibration switches. This is a ball tilt switch. I know all about them now. I've researched them all after I made the video, of course. This is I'm gonna throw this one and test it too. But these are for the next package, I believe. We'll put these aside. I believe these are for that package that's sitting over here. It's very interesting. There's like a gap in the wall. That's weird. Why is that? It wasn't glued together. There's like a divot in the side. Oh, the divot's for this. Stupid me. Alright, so the divot is a profile to grab these little guys. Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. A little over extrusion there on the bottom. I think that's what that is. I have that problem. I thought printed on glass would get rid of that, but this feels like glass and it still does it. I have a lot of leveling problems with my bed. It's all warped. My printer surface is only 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. I couldn't even print this. All right, this is great. So it's the perfect thickness. You know, you don't want it too rigid because it's just a cover. But you want it to be able to, you know, bend a little bit so it can snap on there. Or you want the sides to bend, but then it's going to be, you know, if you make these tabs thinner, then they can break. So you want the tabs to be thick to grab real good and tight tolerances, but you don't need this to be thick. This is great. I love it. It's very well done. And this is the little tray. It's got a cool number of compartments. It's got some big ones, some small ones. And they're separated. The small ones are separated from each other by the big ones so that you can have, you know, you can visually keep things separate. The only thing I could think that might be a little better is if these compartments went all the way into the middle. I can see why they don't. But if they did, then you can put pieces of tape in them. Do you know what I'm saying? Cut tape, SMD tape. You could put, you know, maybe 10 components in there, depending on the size. You'd have to space them so they wouldn't overlap, but you could just drop a whole strip in there and, maybe even pull them out this size. But then you'd have stuff spinning around. I'm just thinking about tape because I use tape now. This is what I just made. I'm starting to work on filling this, and I'm going to be working on tape because I use a vacuum pickup tool. That's what I went with. If I don't like this, I'll probably wind up using this. I'll probably wind up using this also anyway because you know, I have nowhere to put my ESP12s and when you're doing rework, you want to take stuff out, take something off the board, put it back on the board. This isn't, you know, this is good for assembly, but it's not very good for prototyping. All right, so let's put this together. Let's see, this goes in there. I'll probably just put some tape around. Let me see if I have, what do I got? Cap on. I should have something. Let's see. That'll work. Was that 5 millimeter? I need something to store my Kapton so it doesn't get ruined on the sides. This is not real Kapton. This is knockoff eBay Kapton. Yeah, I just put it back in this little bag so they don't get ruined. Because you don't want stuff to get stuck to the sides of it. You'll ruin your tape. I keep it in here with a drawer full of tape. I guess I need to mark that, huh? I pulled way too much tape off. Oh, shoot. Damn it. You know, masking tape would probably work better because it would grab. I'm just going to wrap this with Kapton and see if it's thick enough too. There we go. Alright, so that fits in there real good now. We'll save that for something else. Alright, so that's the bottom, the base. I guess you could put some holes in there if you wanted to screw it down. That's definitely thick enough to mount. Very nice. And that's the perfect thickness for weight and for base. You can maybe make this a little bit thinner if you didn't need the weight. But I mean, that's the size of your bearing anyway, so you're not gonna, you know, just pick a good enough infill, and that just goes on there like that. It just sits up high enough so that it doesn't scrape on the bottom. So it doesn't scrape on anything. It just kind of floats above there. On this piece, I don't know how that goes in. Is that just a friction fit also? Let's test it out. Let's go ahead and do that one too. So this one's also a friction fit, I believe. Unless you're supposed to glue these together. Maybe you could put a drop of glue in there. Oh, that's way too small. Darn it. I'm just going to wrap this around there. This is not going to last because it's going to push down on it and it's going to come off. I'm just going to mush that on there like that. That's probably a little too much. Damn it. No, it's too little. Oh, jeez. That'll work. Alright, so that goes on there. That little pin goes in the middle. I don't know if it's supposed to sit all the way flush. No, it doesn't seem to go all the way down. Flush. I don't know why. There we go. That goes all the way down, but it doesn't really fit in. Let's I wonder if this has a different taper on the other side. I wonder if this has a different taper on the other side. Yeah, see, once you insert that, Kapton gets all messed up. I'll flip that around, see if it fits any better. Okay. So I guess what you need to do is insert this into the bit into here so that it snaps all the way in, and then don't try to pass this through because then it's going to sit off of it, and then put it on there. You don't want it to go all the way into the bearing, so you want it to be flush with this. That makes more sense, and I guess you could glue that, and then there you go. Works pretty good. So now this is your base. This is your little silicone pad that goes right inside there, so that when you put your board on there, it doesn't bounce all your components off of it, and it doesn't move until you want it to move. Oh shoot. So I mean, it doesn't move until you pick it up. And it's just tacky enough to lock it down, but not tacky enough to stick it. So Alright, so that's your base that you just keep wherever you want, and then this is your tray you put components in. So like I said, you put your components in there. You can have each project as a separate tray. Oh, this is really nice. I wonder if this will fit. You know what would be cool if you made this to fit inside of a tape. Like if you had a holder for S&B tape, you can make these fit right in there to hold these as well. So you get your tapes, and then you got one of these. I don't know if you want to take the cut. Well, you can put it on here with the cover, so it doesn't get knocked over. And that slides on there. You can always add magnets, so it snaps, it stays. See, I think it'd be beneficial to shave that peg down a little bit, because it's kind of sitting off. It's sitting way high. So I would just shave that down a little bit, just so this doesn't, otherwise you get this this rocking. It's just too far from the base if you push down on it. And there's just little tweaks you do when you're assembling this. I would just take this back apart and just shave that down, or sand the top down and push it up a bit and glue it where I wanted it. That's all. Just to get rid of that play, or reduce that play to where you want it. You can even put some kind of anti-slip so that it doesn't grab if it ever touches. That drops on top there. On and off. Be cool if you had compartments down here too. I mean, you have that space just sitting there. That's all wasted space. Be hard to print though, because this would all be support material up underneath. You know, that would just be a big mess. Yeah, that probably wouldn't work right. Unless you had this lip come all the way down, and then this one not here. Nah. I don't know if you really need this lip, or if you want a wider traction on that. I mean, you're not going to have a problem. You can spin it however, you know. I mean, I was thinking if you could spin it like a turntable, you know, where it comes to the floor and you can grab it like this, where it's got like an edge coming off with some grippies. But yeah, this is cool. Boop. Hope I don't sound critical. It's kind of what I do. I think engineering, I talk engineering, and it's all good-hearted. No, this is amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sending this to me. This is so cool. I think you can just print this yourself if your printer's big enough. And you can print out additional trays in different colors. You know, come up with some kind of storage method for them. And then this is light enough you could just hang it up. Put a little hole in it or something and hang it. You know, hang it up here, take it down when you need it, take that down when you need it. These would probably both fit on, I have some spool hangers that I made to hold like spools of tape and stuff. Those would work great for this. Like a wall mount tape holder, you can just put a bunch of these on there. And like I said, different colors, or, you know, it's white, just write on it. I don't know how you're supposed to label the, look at that. I don't know how you label the components. Maybe you can index this. Maybe you could create an index on here, like a label. And then position, you know, this A, and then see, but then you'd have to reset it to find stuff. So, oh, I think he did, oh, you know what? I forgot. He said he printed this at a certain height to fit label makers. Although I think it was really big at first. I think he made this smaller because I asked him about it. The wells seemed really deep, but they're not really that bad. But I think he made these back walls big enough so that you could put, I think these labels come in different sizes, but you could just print these out and put them on the inside here. I guess that would be kind of hard to see too, because you can only see it when you're really rotating it. I don't know anything, I can't think of another way to do that. You'd have to write it on here, and then you'd still have to, look for where it's at. You know, and if you wrote on the bottom of them, then you wouldn't be able to see it. So, the only thing I can think of would be to put an edge around, waste space here, and you're going to waste space here, where you can write it in. So it's kind of really a lose-lose situation there, but let's see what we got. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 compartments. Wow. This is really nice. This might be a better idea for me. This might be better situated for my small workbench. I have a very small space. I don't have component bins. Everything goes under my drawer or under my desk in little bins. I have to take them out every time I need something. And that tape array takes up quite a bit of space. This takes up almost nothing. You know, if I'm working with oh, did I drop it? No, I didn't. This is what I do now. I have my tapes, and I printed this little, just before I knew how to design stuff in Fusion, which was only like a month ago, I threw this together in Tinkercad, and it's just got a square cutout, well, specifically made for this size PCB. The PCB goes in there, it doesn't really move much, and then I have a couple compartments for stuff, and then I have this as well, which is just a little tray for putting parts in. And this works good because I can just rotate it by hand. You know, but now I have this. Very cool. So I came up with the analog version of that. I thought it would be easy to be able to position. Instead of moving your hand where you want it, you just move the board. So that's what I'm using now. You can see this might be a little better. Takes up a lot less space. So yeah, I'm excited to try that out. I guess the only problem would be is if you were trying to walk around with this and this would fall off. That's why I said I think some magnets hidden under there. You got plenty of room to put like just one little magnet, and it would just click. You can even have an index or something like that with magnets and stuff. If you want, if you needed to have some kind of alignment. with the board or whatever. You can always do that and add additional options, you know, features. If you had a specific workflow, what you want to do first, or you know, you could just do all kinds of different things, and you could probably easily modify this to, you know, take out these two and hold something. You have a couple through-hole resistors or some crazy thing, you could stick them in there. They would fit perfectly in a, you know, pre-bent or just in a larger section. So it's a really good size. It can really hold a lot of stuff. So this is really cool. I'm surprised they didn't put silicone in all here too, all different colors. I mean, that's really, it just came out so cool. I love it. It's very cool. The problems I have is that little thing in the middle pops up. I'm going to have to glue it. See, as you push down on that, and that just might be a sizing issue with that. Maybe that's supposed to be, maybe this is supposed to be secure in here, and it's just not really grabbing enough. I probably don't need this fit. I need this to fit. I should have just put tape on. But yeah, if you get it right, it fits fine. And then it's perfectly level. And that's that.